biggest takeaway? I'm gonna have to say Domino's. But I got involved in quite a lot. Especially when I arrived, I just kind of went around like a headless chicken trying anything and everything. Be honest, be yourself, and get to know people, like a wide range of people, because university will surprise you who you get along with. Don't be afraid to question things. In first year, I had a lot of questions. Challenge your limits. Don't limit your challenges. Whoa, quote me on that. That is good stuff.
Hello, I'm Peter, and today I have my friend Charlotte with us. She has been studying Durham in the past 3 years, and today we invited her onto our channel to talk about her life in Durham and life beyond Durham. So Charlotte, who are you, and what did you study and what would you be going on to do after university?
Well, it comes as no surprise that I'm Charlotte. I've been at Durham University for 3 years, went to St Mary's College, studied Geography BSc, so that's the sciencey side. I've just graduated, as Peter said, and I'm off to London to study broadcast journalism, and that's a master's programme, so kind of scary.
So the past year has been strange, for the least, and difficult for many people. So how has the pandemic affected your year at uni, and what are some things you found hard and challenging, and what other things that you found good and encouraging?
Yeah, I feel like the pandemic really affected a lot of people, a lot of university students especially. For me, it has impacted my studies. So everything was kind of at the desk in terms of studying, which for geography is kind of hard because I was meant to travel to Norway to do my dissertation, and then everything had to be from my desk at home. So that was difficult. Also, what was difficult was probably having to do, or not having to do sport, having to do independent sport. That was kind of difficult because I'm involved in like a lot of sports and societies, including music as well. Music was all online, so that was tricky. But things that were good during the pandemic were definitely people being more honest with each other. So it was no kind of messing around. Everybody was just very honest about how they felt. You'd ask your friend, like, how are you doing? They'd be like, actually, I'm rubbish. And you'd be like, yeah, me too. Let's talk about that. And that was really refreshing. And also fun times with friends. I had a great house this year of girls from my church, and they were so much fun, and we had such a laugh. And also one-on-one walks were actually, even though they were intense, they were really good fun and a really easy way to get to know people very quickly, which was a real blessing. You
got COVID towards the end of this year, and that has been hard for you. As you say, there's various ways the pandemic has affected your life. What do you think you have learned from this experience in the past year?
In terms of study, probably look after yourself more, take rest, like take breaks as you need them, go easy on yourself, take each day as it comes. In terms of life, probably similar. Go easy on yourself. Like, we're all living in times which are kind of unheard of. We're making history in terms of what's happened this year, which means that it's going to be a lot, and it is stressful, and it can take a toll on your mental health and your physical health. And you just need to go easy on yourself. Stay happy. Try and find something happy in each day. That's what I try and do. Try and find one positive, even when there's not much going on in that day.
We're going to spend a little bit of time thinking about your time at Durham University. You're obviously involved in the UCFS and a lot of other society and events throughout your time in Durham. What would you say has been some of your highlights during your time studying at Durham University?
I got involved in quite a lot. Especially when I arrived, I just kind of went around like a headless chicken trying anything and everything. Sports-wise, I was involved in a couple of DU sports, but the main one probably DU netball before I broke my foot. But it was really fun. DUCFS, as you mentioned, was a huge highlight. All 3 years, we raised a lot of money for a lot of great charities, and I met a lot of wonderful people and a lot of talented individuals. So that was awesome. Music-wise, DU Gospel Choir was a real refreshment. I love singing. I'm not very good at singing in front of people, but DU Gospel Choir definitely brought that out of me, seeing as I had to dance a lot and sing at the same time. But that was really lovely. And church and CU, that was a big part of my life here at Durham University. That was really fun, finding like-minded people who love the Lord and sharing that with other people was really nice. Charity, I was charity rep for Mary's College in second year. So charity is a big passion of mine, so raising a lot of money for different charities with one of my best mates from college, Emma Johnson. Shout out to Emma. She's probably not watching this, but I'll send her the link. So that was really good fun. And then this year I got involved in Purple Radio for the first time, which is something that I've always wanted to do, but never really had the confidence to do it. And then in third year I was like, well, everything else has been cancelled. It's now my time to try this out and just give it a go. So I ended up having my own podcast channel, which was really fun. And I was deputy head of broadcasting standards, which is scarier than it sounds.
3 years away from home must have been very difficult or perhaps challenging in some ways. What have been some of the things or people that has helped you along the way?
It has been challenging, but I'm not much of a home bird anyway, so I do like to challenge myself, and I love travelling. So coming to Durham wasn't really a scary thing, I'd say. I'd say it was more of an exciting thing. The people along the way that have really helped me have been my friends, whether that's college mates I've gotten to know really well, or like Christian mates from church and CU. They've really stood by me and helped me along the way. And also older people in my life that I've gotten to know, especially through church, who have really encouraged me and inspired me to keep going. But I wouldn't say it's been hard. I'd say, well, it has been hard. It's been hard, especially with COVID being away from home for so long, but it's been more of an exciting challenge.
You got to know a lot of people through church, whether friends or older people. How do you think your Christian faith has affected the way that you study at university?
Yeah, my Christian faith has definitely impacted how I study and interact with people at uni. I definitely could take things more seriously if I wasn't a Christian. But to me, the most important thing is sharing the good news of Jesus with other people. And that's what comes first. Everything else is second. So kind of my relationship with Jesus has really flourished over these 3 years, and understanding myself, understanding who I am through him has been awesome. So yeah, I would say not taking study too seriously. I remember a little sticky note that I had on my notice board for all 3 years, which was Jesus first. And I never took that down. So that's been something that stood by me. Standing firm in my faith throughout all the different societies I've tried.
What would you say would be the biggest takeaway from your 3 years in Durham?
Probably to try everything, but commit to a few things. Like really commit to a few things. I remember in first year trying everything and trying to commit to everything and just running out of energy, running out of time for people, time for things. And what I would say is commit to a few things and really invest in those friendships and those societies. I would also say work hard. Working hard isn't a bad thing, but also probably rest harder. So find the balance. I think a balance is a really healthy thing to have. I think at one point I definitely did not have a balance, and it's taken me 3 years to kind of work out what that is. But that comes with committing to a couple of things.
So you said you'll be studying broadcasting and journalism. What has led you to that decision after 3 years of geography?
I didn't know I wanted to do presenting until kind of my last few years at Durham. It was always a huge dream of mine since I was a kid to be on TV or to be on the radio and to be asking people their stories, sharing people's stories, traveling the world, helping people in a different way. But it wasn't until kind of my final year where I was like, I want to do this. And everybody was applying for jobs, like all my friends were applying for jobs, like all these grad scheme jobs or master's programs or whatever it was. And I was like, okay, I need to do something. So I was like, I'll apply for the little grad scheme. So I was a third of the way through the little grad scheme. And then I was like, I don't want to do this. I really don't want to work for Little. So then I was like, you know what? I'm going to pursue my passion, even if I don't feel like I'm good enough. And I'm just going to try the door and pray about it. So after that, I cried. Then I prayed and then I tried. Then I got in somehow by God's grace. So I got into Cardiff and London. And then I chose London in the end for the opportunities. So I'm really excited. A little bit scared, but very excited.
How has you gone about thinking about beyond university? Because a lot of people in their final years will be sort of sharing your experience right now. Yeah, what would you say to them? How has you gone about thinking about the future beyond university?
What I would say is try something. Just try the door. Especially for your passions. Life's too short not to follow your dreams, as cringy as that sounds. But I think you definitely should at least try. And the door will shut if you're not supposed to be there. or the door will open if you are supposed to be there. As a Christian, I'd say pray about it, because that's the most important thing, because God has a plan for your life. Don't sit about on your backside all year doing nothing and just thinking that something's going to fall in your lap. You have to work hard to actually see results. And even for me, even though I had no confidence really going into applying, I worked really hard for the application process, for the interview, for the assessment day, and that really stood in my favour in the end. So do try and don't give up.
And reflecting on the past 3 years of your time at Durham University, what would you say to somebody who is coming to university, their next stage of life? What are some of the things that you wish you would have known before you came to uni?
It's a hard question to ask, because I'm not someone who gets easily embarrassed, because I'm very strange. So I would just, no, I'm not confident. I would just try everything and not really care about what other people think. I think actually university is a great place to do that, to not care what people think. It gives you that platform. Like at school, I mean, I found school so annoying. I did not like school because everybody was always caring about, you know, what someone was wearing or what kind of group they were in, and there was all these cliques. University, there's none of that. You can be yourself in your own style, with your own views, with your own interests, and that's really, really cool. And people actually respect that if you're just honest about who you are and you're not following the crowd. So I would say be honest, be yourself, and get to know people, like a wide range of people, because university will surprise you who you get along with. Coming into uni, I guess seemed quite extroverted to everyone, but actually I call myself an ambivert, which is the perfect balance. The perfect balance between an extrovert and an introvert. So I actually find myself getting on like really well with introverts and finding that part of me as well. That I enjoy time alone, whether that's doing music or doing a sport or, I don't know, even seeing one friend at a time. I think that's a really cool place to find out who you actually are in that respect. And also one thing I would say is don't be afraid to question things. In first year, I had a lot of questions, because you come thinking like having basically a part of your parents' brain in you as well, because they've like raised you for so many years and you've been kind of under like their thoughts and their morals, and then you start questioning all of that and you're like, oh, well, what do I actually believe? And then you kind of unravel it and piece it all together in your own perspective, which is really cool. So I would say like, be a questioner. I would also say challenge your limits. Don't limit your challenges. Whoa, quote me on that. That is good stuff. Yeah, challenge your limits, don't limit your challenges. So push yourself. Don't push yourself too far. Always be open to taking rest, but definitely push yourself in a university environment and you will surprise yourself.
Thank you so much for your experience and your sharing. Will you come back to visit Durham?
Of course I will. I love Durham. It's like home to me. I've got a lot of people here who feel like home as well. There's a lot of people here that I'll be coming back to see, who I love, and the place I absolutely adore. So I'll definitely be back. Also, my brother's here, so I'll probably come and visit him.
Reflecting on 3 years in Durham, what will be the one memory that you will cherish for the rest of your life?
Oh, so many good memories. So many good memories. Probably friends, fun times with friends. Especially this year with the house of girls I'm with. We had so many laughs, like every mealtime we were laughing. It was so great, over nothing basically. Yeah, I'd probably cherish memories with great friends in a great place.
Thank you so much for watching, and thank you, Charlotte, for joining us today. We hope you have a little bit more insight into what Durham University is like, and we'll be publishing interviews like this in the future. Is there anything else you would like to say at the end of the video, Charlotte?
I think there's only one thing left to say, which is like, comment, and subscribe.
Bye.
Bye! Hi, Granny. Hi, Granda. Big shout out to Freya Thomas, my OG. What does OG mean? Only girl? Original girl? My original girl.